Welcome back to the Open World RPG and Dreams series. In this devlog, I'll be working on the enchantment system. Specifically, I'll be implementing a weapon enchantment, an armor enchantment, and I'll be updating the user interface to support this. I actually did work on this off stream a little bit because the last stream I wasn't actually able to end on a good note. Okay, we're gonna have to look at this at a later time. Hopefully I can fix this tomorrow off stream or something. Let's raid someone. I gotta go. We ended in the middle of a pretty bad, not even bug. I mean, I guess it was a bug, but it was an issue. So what is the issue? So each piece of equipment can be enchanted, and we need to remember what enchantment it has, right? Each inventory spot has a variable associated with it. Each variable holds the ID and the quantity. The quantity is a 4-digit number, the ID is a 3-digit number. Equipment doesn't have quantity, right? Because it's just one, they can't be stacked. So instead of saving quantity for equipment, it's the enchantment, or rather two-digit enchantment numbers. 0 to 99, 0 to 99. Saving the enchantment number in the quantity caused some issues with picking up items. I had it where you had to have a minimum quantity of 1, but you could have an enchantment 0, 0. That broke more than I would have liked it to. The amount broken that I would liked was 0. This picker-upper thing is so complicated. I had to separate picking up stacks and picking up things that aren't stacked. I don't even fully understand this. I did when I was making it, sort of. I forget how all my stuff works after I make it too. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I build my stuff in a way where I can figure it out, right? Where I can read the logic and figure out how it works. This picker-upper, it's like I have the general idea, right? So like this logic is for positioning it. This logic is for checking whether or not you can pick up. This logic is like, so to pick up stacks, what I do is I just keep picking it up until it's full, right? So there's like this timer and it just like keeps looping and looping and looping. And then this is like the pickup data. So this is the data of what I'm picking up. Like, I get the general idea, but like, I'm not fully sure exactly how it works, which makes it hard to change it and debug it and add things to it. But I actually managed to do something that worked. The amount or level, right? That should actually be called amount or enchantment. And I can actually like set the enchantment here. So let's leave it at 0 and watch what happens. So see how it says 0, 0 right here? Watch what happens when I set this. How about 0, 2, 0, 5 or something like that. So 205. Pick it up and you'll see how it's enchantment number 2, enchantment number 5. The idea is like there's 99 possible different enchantments, and this is just the enchantment ID. So you can see we have an enchantment value of 0, 0. And if I edit and let's make it 88, this is completely arbitrary, and 6. All right, 88 and 6. Hit the switch, turn it back off, and now if I go into the inventory, see, it's set to 88 and 6. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Acer, won't that just set every single item? Yes, it will. That's why I would make these a local, an in-scene zone, and just put this zone on top of the item, so it only changes that item. Are the enchantments random modifiers? Okay, yeah, like their quality, or is it random? Okay, so I'm planning on the enchantments being just pretty much anything. It could be adding damage, it could be attack speed, it could be an effect. Obviously, the more rare enchantments would do better stuff. I'm thinking anything from stats to abilities. Passive abilities, it's never going to be an active ability. So, I mean, what's the next step? I want to read the enchantment of the item and then do stuff depending on what it is. I was thinking everything in the weapon slot, the main hand slot, would have the same enchantments. So regardless of if it was like a bow, a melee weapon, or a wand, it would be the same enchantments. It would make things easier. Use the same enchantments for everything. Not armor, because like armor, it would be armor and then it would be weapons. I don't think armor should share weapon enchantments. Right, so we have melee weapons, range, sorcery. Okay, you know what? I think I should use this. Yeah, I think it makes sense to just have the main hand have their own enchantments, the armor have their own enchantments. I think that makes the most sense. And then because of that, I can make the main hand enchantments a lot stronger because you can only have 2. As opposed to the armor ones where you can have 8 in total. There will be main hand enchantments and then there will be head, top, bottom, offhand enchantments. You could have an enchantment ID 1 in the main hand and an enchantment ID 1 in the body, and they will do completely different things, potentially. I think we need to implement it. I think that would be a good step. Weapon related and then armor related. Like, I want to make these really OP, actually. Like, I want to make these OP, but we can have some lame ones too. I'm going to make this one and I'm going to make this one. So let's implement the system where we actually read the enchantments that you have. I mean, I think we just do this. We need to read the item set enchantment. Do I even transmit this? We're going to combine the enchantment 1 with the enchantment 2, and then we're going to transmit this. So that's 2 extra gadgets per equipable item, just to make this a little bit easier. So I'll call this item enchantment data. So we have the enchantment data. Let's get that item, not set. Yeah, and shader, perfect. Now we just want to split this. And what are we going to do with the numbers? We know this is the main hand. I think we just do 2 timelines. Each timeline has 100 frames. Each frame will have a keyframe in it that will activate the enchantment. Now what we do is just take whatever's in here and put it there. You have a target of 100 and you have exactly 100 frames, and it does the math for me. So again, we're turning these 2 numbers into actual things. Those things being a position on the timeline. Alternatively, we could have 99 calculators, which have =1, =2, =3. This is just that, but 2 gadgets instead of 99 gadgets. Now we want to actually implement it. Oh, sharp. Ooh, that's good. Yes, it doesn't necessarily apply to magic weapons, but you know what? Oh, that's a good point, like Minecraft, exactly. Sharp and sturdy. Okay, where do we implement this? Well, it depends. It depends. For the damage one, for example, we are going to go right to where our damage is calculated. Yeah, here we go, combat stats. So here is where we calculate all the combat stats. It's literally this easy. Look at this. And this is scalable too. What if you have the sharp enchantment twice? See, this is where it gets kind of annoying. You can have 2 enchantments on each weapon. So and then in the same vein, you can have 4 enchantments. You could have 8. You could technically have 8 of the same enchantment. Oh, wait, I have an idea. What if I just had a tag here and then I counted the number of tags? Oh, that's good. It's good stuff. Good thinking, Acer. Ench sharp 1, ench 1 sharp, ench 1 sharp. If there's 2 of those tags, so check this out. This is actually really easy. I was thinking I would put keyframes in here, but putting tags in there makes so much more sense. We take the number detected, multiply by 10, and add it to our damage. It's that easy. So we'll have a sword with no enchantments. We'll have a sword with 1 enchantment. So we want 0, 1, 0, 0. And then we'll have a sword with 2 of the damage enchantments. So 0, 1, 0, 1. There should be 3 swords on the ground. And they all have different enchantments. So this sword has no enchantments, 0, 0. This has 1, 0. And this has 1, 1. Our damage is 5, and the sword's damage is 5. Now, look what happens when we equip this one. Damage is 5, 25 damage, because it's plus 10, plus 10. Okay? And then what about this one? 15 damage. So it's actually working. So the armor enchantments, let's do that now. We just need this chip. It's the same position on the timeline, but because it's the offhand, we activate a different tag. And I will literally just not let you put armor enchantments on main hand weapons and main hand enchantments on armor. All right, and with the way this is set up, you could technically have sturdy times 8. I think we implement it with health related stuff, which is here. It would be here. It would be here and here, I believe. The issue with this is that it'll heal you. It'll start healing you. So we need to make sure it doesn't go less than 0. So what we want to do is take the maximum of this number and 0. Okay, so this will ensure that it doesn't go below 0. Alternatively, we could shove it through a slider, and I think that's more intuitive, so that's what we're going to do. So the max value is max and the min value is 0. All right, this is definitely more intuitive. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, if I personally look at this, I understand why I'm doing it. With the min thing, I know it makes sense, but it would take slightly longer for me to understand. Okay, and we want literally the exact same thing for magic damage. We can still use this count though. And again, like, the implementation of these, it'll differ based on what it is. But for this one specifically, it's this easy. And as we add more enchantments, we will add more of these chips, and we'll just chain them one after the other. We're running with our little pants. So this is no decrease. All right, that's no decrease. This is -2. Oh no, it's just not working. Okay, maybe we do -1 instead, just so we can test this properly. So something went wrong with this. Is it? Oh, there you go. It wasn't the entire scene. So that was an easy fix. And while we're at it, oh, there was another bug. So this is ×2. This one was not ×2. But we want to just make it ×1. So this piece of armor has an enchantment that reduces damage by 1. It also has a flat reduction. Oh no, this is wrong. This is physical reduction. It has physical reduction of 1. Yeah, right here. Physical resistance 1. So if we do this, okay, but that was magic damage. That was magic damage. Okay, this makes sense now. This makes sense. So to fully test this, let's make this 0, 1, 0, 1. So now instead of taking 9 magic damage, we'll take 8. Yes. Okay, it is working now. Holy moly. All right. So now what? I need to change the text in here in the inventory. That would be a good start. This piece of armor has 2 enchantments. They're identical. It has 2 sturdy enchantments, okay? Which reduce incoming damage by 1 each. And it has a physical resistance of 1 and a magical resistance of 0. So when we step on this magic pad that deals 10 damage, it should deal 8 damage. Okay, and it dealt 8 damage. And then let's put this one on. So we have 3 sturdy enchantments, so it'll reduce our incoming damage by 3. And you can see our physical resistance is 1 and magic is 1. So currently magical resistance just reduces incoming damage by that number. So we should take 6 damage from this. And it did, and it worked. So it should be 44. And this should be 38. Yeah, okay, it's working. What does that mean? It means these guys won't deal any damage, because these guys deal 2 physical damage. So yeah, they just can't hurt us anymore. Not bad. Let's link our damage to the actual weapon damage. That could be nice. All right, let's see if damage is actually affected by enchantments. I don't see why it wouldn't be. but let's find out. We are currently equipping the unenchanted sword, which is 4 damage. It's actually 7. Wait, what is it? It's 5 damage, and then this guy has some armor, so it's 4. And now if we equip this sword, which is 25 damage, we should be dealing like 20s. Yeah. Nice. Oh, this messes him up. Oh my gosh, you really feel that. Holy shit. Oh, it's still done. Oh, right. My bad. Okay, so it's display. Remember, the enchantments are saved as a quantity, and the HUD thinks it's a quantity, but it's really not. Quick slot left data. Quick slot left data. We need to know whether or not it's equipable. Enchantable. Not equipable. Sorry, I think I said equipable. I meant enchantable. If this chip exists, this is enchantable. I need to tell this thing that the item is enchantable, so it does not display this. Okay, item enchantable. Enchantable. If the item is enchantable, yeah, I mean, why don't I just, this feels, I just hook that up to a keyframe, and then if that keyframe's on, I just turn this shit off or something. So this gets powered on, and then if the item in here is enchantable, then we power it off. Okay. All right, it worked. It's the same sword, right? Yep. So the number's not displaying anymore. Perfect. So now that we know that's working, well, okay, let's put something there with a quantity just to make sure it is actually working. Perfect. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Okay. So the quantity is no longer displaying if it's enchantable. Okay, I think it's time to actually put the enchantments right here. I have decided that I want to display the 2 enchantments here and here, and we're going to bump this up and slide this down. Okay, that's more than enough space for the enchantment. So enchantment 1 would go here, enchantment 2 would go here. And then it is kind of just an awkward blank space otherwise. I don't think I want a divider. The underline for the name makes sense. The description location makes sense, I think. I like it, just like enchantment 1, enchantment 2. All right, I'm gonna try something. I'm not sure if it'll work, but I need to try something, right? Okay, so yeah, enchantment 1, enchantment, well, it would be enchantment 2. That looks good. That actually looks good. And obviously they're blank, so it would be empty or none or something. I wish there was like a nicer way to do this though. Okay, I really think this is the best solution for my UI struggles. No enchantment, no enchantment. And let's start filling out the thing. So the actual enchantment names, which is going to be unbelievably annoying, but it is what it is. Hey guys, Future Acer here. I figured it would be more clear if I just explained this in post as opposed to clipping a bunch of stuff together. I never really explained it properly. Let me know in the comments if you prefer this over what I normally do though. So to display the enchantments that the piece of equipment we are hovering has, we need to know if it's a main hand or an armor piece. We also need to know its 2 enchantment IDs. We use this data to get the text gadgets that have the corresponding enchantment names. How do we do that though? We store the text gadgets on a 100 frame timeline, which is what you're currently seeing, and each frame represents the corresponding enchantment ID. in this example, frame 0 is no enchantment, and frame 1 is the sharp enchantment, or sturdy enchantment if it's the armor timeline. And we can pass in the enchantment ID into a counter, which converts that number from 0 to 1, pass that into the playhead position, and the playhead will just go right to the correct text gadget. Okay, sharp, 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 no enchantment. No enchantment, no enchantment. And just really quick, let's go to these two. So now we have, for this one, sturdy and no enchantment. -0, that's interesting. Okay. And then this one is no enchantment, no enchantment. Now the question is, so it's sharp and sharp, right? Should that add the damage here as well? It would make sense. It would make sense, but I think it would be too difficult. You might wonder, like, how will the player know what sharp means? They won't. They'll have to look it up somewhere. I literally just need like a separate scene with a book of enchantments or something. I don't know. Oh, you know what? This is how they figure it out. Enchantments will be actual objects, right? Where you put them in the enchantment machine and you enchant objects. That enchantment object will have the description of it. What should we try to do now? I would like to get the enchanting machine working. That would be cool. Why wouldn't it be a separate scene? It's kind of like a crafting table. You go and then it ports you over to a separate scene, and then it's just your inventory, and then on the right side it'll be like a square, and then two your enchantment slots. And it'll also allow you to take enchantments out of weapons. All right, let's make an enchantment table. So you get a prompt. I actually haven't implemented prompts at all in this game yet. And when we've interacted with it, we need a door. We need to activate a doorway. And this is an exit and an entrance. It's a two-way. The reason it's a two-way is because we need to go back through this door and appear here, I think. If you go into one and go back out of it, you need to end up in the same place, right? We'll handle that next stream. All right, let's see if we can trigger the doorway. Cool. Yeah, that works for me.